from New Zealand on air.
He's spoken to the landlord, it's his responsibility. All right, I'll come around and take a look. About an hour or so. All right, bye-bye.
What's up?
It's that cesspit Terry and Tash are living in. The plumbing's carked it and the landlord's made himself scarce. I've got a good mind to call the health department.
Is it really that bad?
Oh, you got to see it to believe it. I said I'd go around and make some running repairs. Terry's doing the best she can, but the place is a dump. There's holes in the walls and back of the stairs. Oh, makes me shudder to think Tasha's playing around there.
Hey, I understand your concerns, hun, but you can't be thinking about pouring money into that place or...
Oh, no, of course not. I just want to make it more livable. Might put the pressure on that landlord.
Oh, do you want a coffee? I just made a fresh pot.
Doing the work of two men down at the community clinic. I just wanted to give you this.
Kerry Rollins.
The excellent psychiatric therapist. Known him for years.
He's a friend of yours?
Well, professional acquaintance. Gets good results with traumatic stress, and he's expecting your call.
I see. Thank you.
Just don't get him started on bluegrass music. He's a fanatic.
Okay, what's on my agenda today?
I've got you scrubbing on a heart bypass.
With Al?
He was our cardiac surgeon last time I looked.
Is that negotiable? Because given the choice, I'd rather just slog it out in the woods.
And I'd rather you were in theatre.
Well, I could swap with someone.
There is no one else, Tamsin. Tomorrow there will be. We've got a new nurse starting, but today, just grin and bear it.
Busy day ahead by the sounds of it.
Working with you.
We're on holiday. This place is going to be empty, right? So how would you feel about Terry and Tash house sitting?
Not living here.
It was only for a couple of days until that landlord gets off his nono and fixes the plumbing.
Yeah, I don't know, hon. I feel pretty weird with, Terry living here.
I was thinking of Natasha.
Yeah, I know you were, but...
Oh, forget it. Just an idea. I thought it would suit us all.
Hey, come on. Now you're making me feel like the bad guy here.
Well, you're confusing me, Donna. I mean, first you tell me I've got to do more for Natasha, and when I try to do that, you want to put a stop to it.
Yeah, all right, okay. Yeah, okay, Terry and Tash, can live here while we're away. It's the best thing.
You don't mean that.
I said it. I mean it, all right? The offer is there.
Do you ever wish that nobody ever told you anything?
All the time.
I mean, if someone's going to tell you a secret, they at least ought to warn you that it's going to be a secret. Then you won't go blabbing and get them into trouble. Chris was just so furious with Rachel for telling me. And it kind of is my fault he found out that she did. But she should have said something, I mean, if the cafeteria is supposed to be some big state secret, then what... I didn't say that.
I already know about the cafeteria, Waverley.
You do? But if you know, and Chris knows, and Rachel knows, not to mention an entire construction company, then why is it so bad that I know? I mean, I'm practically part of the clinic anyway.
I don't think that's the point, Wave. Rach was told something in confidence and it should have stayed that way.
Yeah, but only because she was trying to help me. I mean, I thought that Chris might have understood that and said something to you, and then I could have told Rachel not to... Oh, no, I couldn't. That would be the same thing all over again. You're not even listening to me, are you?
Yeah, I heard.
Well, then reassure me, please. I mean, it was such a tiny wee leak. I mean, Chris wouldn't fire Rachel or anything like that, would he?
You were entrusted with a particular piece of information that you knew was confidential, yet less than an hour later, Waverley is in here repeating it back to me word for word. How can you justify that?
I can't. All I can do is reassure you that it won't happen again.
I wish I could rely on that.
I've given you my word, Chris. What more would you like? My blood?
No. Your signature.
A confidentiality agreement.
Well spotted. I'm sure you'll want to read the fine print for yourself, but I'll run you through the highlights. Nothing you see, hear, or attempt to dig out of my computer files is to be repeated to anyone, including flatmates, lovers, or the neighborhood cat. To do so will incur instant dismissal.
And what if I don't sign it?
Then I terminate your contract and wish you well in your future endeavours.
Doesn't leave me much choice, does it?
Not if you want to keep working here. Come in.
I'm not interrupting, am I?
No, we're done here. Victor.
I was actually hoping to drag you away for a few minutes to the community clinic.
Why? So you can show me how desperately you need that new GP?
A professional consult. I've got a woman down there with a hand damaged in an industrial accident. Could be significant nerve damage. Right up your alley, I think.
Give me half an hour and I'm yours.
Any goss on the new edition?
Only that he, she, it starts tomorrow. Be a relief not having to work with agency nurses all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like our temps.
Only because they don't know what a rat you really are.
And they're never here long enough to find out. It served me well.
Both set?
Yeah, it should be pretty straightforward, right?
Indeed. We can't take anything for granted. You got the two-stage venous cannula on your setup?
No, but I've got it on the side. And for you, best flatty in the world, I'll do a final check on our instruments roll. Make sure we've got the correct sutures.
I will want that two-stage on your setup.
Rightio, just as the good doctor orders.
You're very quiet. Nervous about the procedure?
Nope.
You're assisting with the removal of the saphenous vein, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Tamsin, is this call change really necessary?
If you have a complaint about my professional behaviour, then...
I simply miss your friendship. Now, I realise that's mostly my own fault, but I was hoping we could find our way back to some sort of...
They're ready for us.
Could you pass the spanner, please, sweetheart?
This one?
That's it? Make a tradesman out of you yet?
Tradesperson, and I don't want to be a plumber.
Okay. Give it a go.
Great. Hey, I couldn't push our friendship and get you to have a look at the front door lock, could I?
Might as well. Clearing those pipes is one thing, Terry, but I can't stop that toilet leaking or drag the shower into the first world. The landlord's going to have to cough up.
Yeah, like that's going to happen.
How long has this been broken?
Since we moved in. But when I signed up on this place, I was told it was going to be fixed. So far, no joy.
Anyone can walk in here.
Tell me something I don't already know. I do wedge a chair up at night, but...
You can't go on living like this. It's not safe.
Well, you talk to the landlord then. It's all like, yeah, I'll fix it, leave it to me, and you never hear from him ever again. And before you say anything, I know, we've got to find somewhere better.
Are we going to move again?
Sorry, sweet pea. I was, wondering if Tash could crash with you for a while, just so I can look around.
Where will you be?
Well, I'll stay.
She'll stay with you. At our place.
What?
Well, we're going away for a couple of days so you can look after the place. Give yourself some breathing space.
What's Donna going to say about that?
I've already discussed it with her. She's cool.
Looking good. Is the patient rewarmed?
Yep.
Down on flows, off bypass. Checking for bleeding. We've got a leak around one of the grafts. I'll need 6-0 proline, single-armed.
Al,
You're bleeding?
quick, get your head back.
Don't!
You said they could come.
When we had gone, love, not now.
Their neighbourhood's dodgy as. There's no locks in the front doors. I couldn't just leave them.
How long had they been living like that before you decided to sweep in and stage a rescue?
That's just for one night. What's the big deal?
Work it out. You, me and your ex chumming up in the same house.
So what?
So we're supposed to be getting things right between us, aren't we? Going away on holiday together, alone.
Things are right between us. Terry's no threat to you.
That is not what I'm saying, hun.
So what are you saying? She's taking Natasha back to that red hole where any diva could walk in
It's
and
not
at night.
about Natasha, and you know that. It's about you.
Hello, sweetheart. How's your room?
Good. Mum said to give you this. It's fresh food.
It is so good to be out of that dump. You have no idea. I just, hope we're not putting you out.
Of course we're not. I'm glad to help.
a while to stop.
These bleeding noses often do. Most inconvenient.
When you're ready, can you write up the post-up orders?
Ready now.
Would you like me to do an incident report?
I suppose there'll have to be one. Of all the stupid, basic mistakes.
Oh, come on, it's only natural. Someone says you're bleeding, you check the source.
Yeah, and risk cross-infection. It's the first thing you learn not to do.
Yeah, we're doing full bloods now, mate. Fingers crossed they'll come back clear.
Fingers crossed.
It wasn't the flashiest meal in the world, but I wasn't expecting guests.
That's okay. I'll go down to Superette and stock up on my girls' favourite goodies.
Okay.
Do you want to help me pack up this?
Hey, any chance of a coffee?
Not for me, huh?
One coffee coming up.
So what's the landlord got to say for himself?
Oh, you know, full of promises, but bottom line is, if we don't like it, we've got to find somewhere else to live.
I'll tell you what, there's a newspaper around here somewhere. You up to take a look?
Yeah, I'll do that. Hey, you need a hand?
Wouldn't say no. You okay?
Yeah, we'll be when they're gone.
You do understand why I brought them here.
Yeah, I'm just worried about how long they're going to stay. I'm not Tara, she's always welcome, but Terry's not going to find a new place in a couple of days.
Well, she can always go back to the other place. She's only just given notice.
Except you said you wouldn't let your dog live there, let alone your daughter's mum.
It will work out, Donna. Just don't worry about it, please.
I wonder if bleeding on a patient is a hanging offence.
Hardly going to blame you for a nosebleed, Al.
It's just a little nasal humour. Probably not going to make it on the stand-up circuit, am I?
I'm really sorry. If I hadn't pulled down your mask...
Please,
then...
no apologies. The fluid exchange was minimal. I haven't run the stats on it yet, but I expect I run very little risk of infection. I'll be fine.
I hope so, Al.
Oh, thank you. Your concern is more than I expected.
What's that supposed to mean? I'm not completely heartless?
No, but I may have appeared to be in my treatment of you recently, and I deeply regret that.
What's done is done.
Indeed.
Thanks. Did you get hold of Kerry?
I haven't had a chance.
Look, I know it's hard, Kate, but you need to do this, and there's a good man.
I need a word with Chris.
Speak to me.
We've had an incident in theatre, a potential cross-infection I thought you'd like to know.
I'm a little busy. Can you handle it?
If you're sure I'm up to it.
I'm sure.
Right, well, I'll dig out the guidelines and take it from there.
Cut. So you work in a packaging factory?
For the last 5 years.
Do accidents like this happen very often?
Business is tough. Machinery's expensive. Boss can't afford to upgrade the whole plant.
Well, we might not have a choice of Oshkir onto.
We haven't so far. And the last thing any of us want is to be out of work. You know what I'm saying?
Some gauze, Victor?
Good having the top man on hand when you need him, eh? Ought to be more of it.
Right, I read the incident report.
And?
And first off, this is not a witch hunt.
Phew. Why would it be a witch hunt?
Because I noticed that Tamsin filled out the report and not you.
Well, that's because I pulled down his mask. If I hadn't
It was a
done that-
natural reaction.
It's not about apportioning blame. I just want to make sure that we all know what's going on here. Baseline bloods are on the way to the lab, so while we're waiting, you'll have to be taken off the theatre roster.
Of course, if I have picked up any bugs, I wouldn't want to risk passing them on.
So all of Al's ops will have to be rescheduled. I needn't remind you this event is not for public discussion. We don't want to alarm the patient or his relatives. And we certainly don't want to create an impression of carelessness in our top cardiothoracic surgeon.
showing off, eh? A Benares one party piece.
Actually, Terry, mate.
Oh, am I stepping on toes here? I just remembered it was a family favourite.
No, it's great. Any meal I don't have to cook is a complete bonus.
There you go, Tash.
Thanks. Ending up with the papers today's quite good for rentals.
There's a place being advertised on the student radio. It sounded pretty good. 2 bedrooms and a big yard.
And they say how much?
$2.10 a week. I know it's pretty high, but, you know, I can help out.
Only for the bond or whatever, not as an ongoing thing.
If it means getting Tash into a decent neighbourhood, I'll do whatever's necessary.
Well, let's not worry about finance until we know that Terry's actually got the place.
The interview's tomorrow. If you want to ring and set up a time.
Interviewing, is this like a share house?
There's 2 bedrooms.
We're not going to share.
Terry, shouldn't you at least see the place before you make that kind of decision?
I don't need to. When you've got a kid, you need routine and you need privacy. I mean, otherwise it's not going to work. You'll find that out when you have kids of your own.
Okay, it was a bad idea.
Yeah, it was. Surprised you even suggested it.
But if it's not that house, it'll be another, right?
So you're sure I can't tempt you with something stronger?
Not with a pile of paperwork I've got to get through tonight, thanks.
Very subtle. Doing a bit of work at the coalface takes Great White Chief from more important duties.
Yeah, alternatively, community clinic doctor makes a point about how overworked he is. Actually, I enjoyed treating Deirdre today. It's good to be hands-on again.
Well, that employer of his needs dealing too. Running a factory that puts workers at risk.
Yeah, thought we might have a quiet word. Point out that if we see any more of his staff, we may have to contact the authorities ourselves.
And cut our potential patient throughput? I would have thought your position would be the more injuries, the better the bank balance.
Thanks. Well, seeing how it works in the States turned me around. No, I'm happy to trade the bottom line for a bit of preventative care.
Well, that's something we could accomplish a great deal more effectively if we had another...
Another GP. Yes, Victor.
Well, I need the help, and I need it now.
Can I talk to you for a sec?
Well, not if you're going to ask me for a lovely assistant. Private joke.
Back in a minute.
About the job.
When can we expect you back full-time?
Well, I've been thinking about it, and Lucas is still pretty young to leave.
Most parents work, Nick. Find yourself a good nanny and get on with it.
And turf Rachel out, you mean? After I've led her to believe it'll be a long-term arrangement.
If she is as good as she thinks she is, she's not going to have any trouble finding something else.
And if I say I won't come back?
Well, then I start looking around for someone else. And in view of recent events, that someone is not going to be Rachel.
Stop moving, I'm trying to read.
Can't sleep. It's too early to go to bed.
Well, you get up and spend the evening with Terry then.
I don't see why we can't all spend it together.
Because I'm a jealous cow, right? I couldn't hack watching you and your ex-girlfriend getting domestic in the kitchen. I know it's petty.
I thought it was that crack about us not having kids.
Oh, well, that too, yeah.
Terry didn't mean anything by it. She's not up with the state of play.
Well, at least you haven't discussed that with her. I'm eternally grateful.
Come on, Donna. If it wasn't for Natasha, I wouldn't be doing this. You know that.
She doesn't look particularly happy either.
She's fine. Just going through too many changes, that's all.
Yeah, including this one. I mean, even a kid can see this as a natural situation.
It's one night. Just one night. And then we're on a glorious holiday. Long days, lazing in the sun. So let's not start off with a fight, okay?
Yeah, it's the last thing I want.
Me too. I love you, babe.
I love you too.
You're being very industrious.
I thought you'd gone for the day.
Oh, an effective manager never sleeps. How'd you get on with that cross-infection problem?
I'm printing the report off now.
Oh, run me through it.
Al Dabrowski got a blood nose in theatre. Some of his blood dripped onto the greens, not the patient, I'm assured. He put his hand to his nose, and that had the patient's blood on it. There's a small possibility he could have been infected with anything the patient has. I've debriefed the theatre team. They're clear on confidentiality. Baseline bloods for Al and Mr. Hayes. And Al's been taken off the theatre list until we get the results back.
And they're all happy with that?
Yeah. I got the feeling they thought the meeting was unnecessary, but it's a little bit more complicated than a simple needle stick, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well, sounds like you've covered all the bases.
I've signed it. Your secrets are my secrets.
Well, perhaps you can be entrusted with my next little project.
And that is?
An examination, a very close examination of the cardiothoracic unit. Profitability versus costs, the whole shebang.
With a view to?
Restructuring. Downsizing. Possible closure.
Let me get this clear. Al's waiting to find out whether he has a vile, life-threatening disease, and you want me to look into sacking him.
If you want to play with the big boys, you've got to make the hard decisions. I assume you're up to it.